Hi, I'm Ricardo Sierra. I'm the director of the Hawk Circle Wilderness Programs and the Earth Skills Correspondence Course. And I was thinking that today of a story about the course, when people have been signing up lately and it's really cool and people are really excited and inspired. And I was thinking like a lot of people get really inspired to like take a program and get excited and then all of a sudden they get into it and they sort of hit a wall. And when you hit a wall, when you're in a program like that, you there's resistance. There's kind of like I don't know if I want to do it. Like I remember Tom Brown would be like, okay guys, you have to go, you know, crawl down the stream, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get all stabbed with cedar spikes, and I'm gonna get ticks and everything. And so you had this initial resistance. But then if you actually go and do it, you feel better. Like you feel really good because you had this breakthrough, and you get to the other side of it, and you're just like, holy crap, that was awesome. That was the best part of the whole course when you look back on it later. And so one of the things that I wanted to share was like a little story that happened to me when I was camping, when I first started learning a lot of my wilderness skills. I went out and I'd build a shelter, and I was planning to stay for like 3 or 4 days. And I got my shelter all built, took like all day. I was exhausted. I got my water, I got everything I needed, kind of filled up some water jugs. I had them in my shelter. I had everything set up. And I was, wiped out, went to bed early. And then in the morning, I woke up and I had to, I had to go to the bathroom. You always have to go to the bathroom like 4 in the morning. And I got up and I was like, okay, I think this was like in September. So the leaves hadn't quite fallen down, started falling. But it was one of those days where everything was just dead silent, and you could just tell the sky was really overcast, and it was like lead. It was like gray, and it was, that you've had that feeling of like there's something coming, like a storm coming, and everything was quiet. And I was like, okay, went to the bathroom, crawled back in my shelter, and then it started raining, and it just rained and rained and rained. And when I got up late, like a few hours later, maybe at like 6 or 7 o'clock, something like that, it was, I kind of peeked out the door of my shelter and I looked out, and there was like, it was just like dripping. Everything was completely saturated by then, and it was just rain. Hey, how's it going? And so what happened was, I just wanted to give up. I wanted to just go back and go home, and that was one of my apprentices just now. Anyway, and I just wanted to go back home. I wanted to be like, let me get out of here. Everybody else at home is hanging out. They're probably going to go see a movie or something, and I'm in this shelter, and it's like really cramped, and I'm just kind of stuffed in all the leaves. And I thought, this sucks. Like I can't even make a fire because everything's wet, and I can't sit up. I'm just laying here. And so I laid there for a long time, like for a while, and I was like, well, I told everybody that I was going on this like 4-day trip. And so everybody kind of knew, and I knew that if I showed up, 2 days early, they were going to kind of give me a hard time. That's the kind of friends I had, which was good. But so that kind of kept me there, and I kind of just sat there and I thought, well, maybe it'll stop. And it didn't stop, and it just kept raining and raining. And all of a sudden, like I could hear like, Tom Brown's, my mentor and everything, kind of his voice come through, and he was just like, just be in the moment, like just be there, appreciate what it is, and then just do something. He'd always say, you can always do something to make your situation better. And so I started, I kind of got fired up. I had some like food. I had some granola bars or something, and I ate a few of those, and I'm like, hey, I don't need to cook. I don't need to worry about that. So I ate those, and then I got into building an awning. I wanted to build an awning's kind of like a little, porch on your shelter that lets you sit and, get warm and kind of stay dry and everything. And so luckily I picked a good area with a lot of debris and everything still. So I grabbed a bunch of branches and I built this really awesome awning. And then I, thought, well, maybe I can make a fire, now that I have this awning. And so I extended the awning kind of out a little ways, and I kind of looked around, and I had matches back then. I wasn't really, really good at fire making. So I said, all right, I'm gonna work with my matches, and I had my backup. I had like backup cotton balls with Vaseline or something on it that would really get going hot. And so I ended up starting a little fire, and then I got a little bit bigger fire, and I sat back, I gathered a whole bunch of firewood, and I had my little fire, and I started cooking. I had something to cook over the fire, I think some sausage or something. And and it was just awesome. And it was like my best day of survival up to that point ever, because I just went through all that resistance. I let myself just go into all the crappy, like, I can't do this, it sucks, I'm tired, I'm sore from building my shelter and all that. And I just let myself have that for, 3 hours or whatever it was. And I'm embarrassed that it was that long, but sometimes that's what you have to do. But then all of a sudden I just got sick of it. And when I got sick of that, when I got sick of all my excuses and all my complaining, I just said, I'm doing something. I can't stop the rain, but I can stop the rain dripping on me, and I can stop the rain from, I can build something to give myself space out there. And so that's the main thing I wanted to kind of share in this video, is this idea that when you start finding those resistances coming up to like work on your skill or whatever, it's okay. Like sometimes you have to kind of get into it and really get all like, ugh, but then turn around and go through it. You know what I mean? Because that's not you. That's just all the stuff that you have in your head telling you how much it's going to suck based on what you think it is going to suck. I mean, have you ever gone on a walk and it's been kind of drizzly and you're like, I don't feel like going outside, but you go out anyway and you put your raincoat on and you just go out there and you feel 100 times better 15 minutes later? It's just like that. You just bust through that. And don't let your mind and your complaining part of yourself talk you out of doing what you want to do and talk you out of having a really amazing experience. So that's the key. Let that mind do its thing and do it anyway. So good luck with it. Let me know how it goes. And if you want, post some comments or whatever if you've had anything like this, or if everything I told you just totally fails, hey, at least you have something. You tried, so that's awesome. Anyway, talk to you guys later.